Well, hey there. So, pop quiz time. Do you see this glass as half full or half empty? Now, I know you've heard this question before, and it's really all about, hey, are you more optimistic or are you a bit more pessimistic when it comes to a situation? And all I know is when it comes time to our hormones fluctuating and starting to go through menopause, even the most optimistic woman is going to be put to the challenge. Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm a menopause health coach, and I just wanted to talk about really kind of boosting your optimism and how it can affect your health, your well-being, and actually minimize the symptoms and the challenges that you may be experiencing with your hormones going kind of a little all over the place. So just a little story about me. I always thought I was a little bit more on the pessimistic side, and I have done a lot of mindset work to kind of change things around. But I got my proof one day when I was at Starbucks, and I picked up my coffee cup, and it was only filled halfway. And I said to the barista, I said, "Hey, my coffee cup's half full." And she just looked at me and she laughed and she's like, "Well, you're an optimist." And I thought, well, yeah, I guess I finally am. I have my proof. So I've really been trying to take that and continue to use it and really apply the benefits of what optimism is for us and our life. And what's interesting is it's not just me. Yes, I'm a positive person. I think we all feel better when we have a positive mindset, but they actually did a study in Queensland, Australia, and they looked at women going through menopause and really like who had more of a positive, optimistic outlook on life and who had more pessimistic, negative outlook on life. And they were actually able to track the fact that the women who were more optimistic and had a more positive mindset, they experienced fewer symptoms with less severity. So it's not just me being Susie Sunshine here. There's real science behind this. So I just wanted to tell you a couple of ways that you can incorporate into your life to start to boost your optimism. And I love this because you know what? It's free. That's something to be optimistic about right there. There's no side effects other than probably being a little bit more happy. And it doesn't take a lot of time. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is avoid getting hung up on just one thing. And I know I can do this so easily. You know, one thing might go wrong in the morning. Maybe, you know, I tripped and stubbed my toe, or, you know, the jeans I wanted to wear that day are a little bit snug. And you know what? It can completely unravel my whole day. And then all of a sudden, you know, one thing leads into another, and you just basically have ruined an entire day by one teeny tiny little event that you could have just been like, okay, I stubbed my toe, it hurt a little bit, it's gonna be fine, and I'm moving on with my day, and it's not gonna affect it. Or, okay, these jeans are a little tight, you know what, maybe I did eat a little too much this weekend. It's okay, I still love myself, I can get that like little bit of extra weight off. So don't get hung up on just one thing and let it ruin your entire day. And the other thing, you can always look for the silver lining, right? And I know, again, this sounds very Pollyanna, but so very true. It's that idea of no matter what could be happening during the day, no matter what bad events might take place, you can always find that silver lining. And you know, the more you look for it, I think the easier it becomes to find. The other thing is, I really think it's important to try to live in the present as much as possible. Now, it's interesting when you think about happiness. Happiness is a feeling that really you can only experience in the present moment. And you might have happy memories, or you might be looking forward to something that you think you're going to have a lot of fun in, but the actual feeling of happiness happens in that present moment. And when you think about emotions like anger or frustration, those are a lot of like tied to like past events. And then when you think about something like you're fearful or you're anxious about something, that's really kind of tied more to future events. And so when you're letting those emotions rule your life, you're really letting the past, which is gone, it's over, you don't live there anymore, rule your feelings, or something that hasn't even happened yet, and you know what, may not even happen. So really try to stay in the present, because that's where happiness lives. And you know what? I think a lot of us miss the joy in life because our mind goes somewhere else. Instead of really enjoying the conversation with a great girlfriend or, being with our family, our head's somewhere else. We're either worried about maybe something that happened, earlier at work, or we're concerned about something that might be happening in the future. So stay present. The other thing too, be thankful. Now, again, this can be really tough when you feel like, you're just getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop more than not. But you know what? Sometimes you just have to look at the easiest little things when you're really struggling to be thankful for something. Sometimes just be thankful that the sun came up this morning and you didn't have to do a thing about it. And be thankful that you have a computer or a phone, an internet service. And I know you do, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. So there are a lot of little things that we can be thankful for. Our heart just beats. We didn't have to tell it to do it. It's just there, and it's showing up for us every day, 24/7. You can probably hear my dog in the background. But you know what? It's fine. So another thing, I love positive affirmations. I think they can really start to form new neural pathways in our brain. But I think the key to positive affirmations is not just saying them, because then they're just words. I think you really have to pause and start to feel and believe those words you're saying. That's where the power comes from. It's not just from the words. The words are just words, they're neutral. But when you start to really put feeling and meaning behind it, that's when you're going to see some real results. Now, the other thing is you need to surround yourself with positive people. Interestingly enough, you are the sum of the 5 most people that you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with people who are negative, people who are angry, people who are pessimistic, you start to kind of pick up on that energy. So really go out there and try to start surrounding yourself with people who are more vibrant, happier, more positive, who have a joy for life. And if you don't know anyone directly, start surrounding yourself with positive books. Start going, onto YouTube and looking for those inspiring TED Talks. And there's more creative ways. If you can't be one-on-one, in person with somebody, you can definitely still surround yourself, with positive people. The other thing too is watch your language. And I don't mean like dropping the F-bomb, but what you're saying to yourself especially, and to others. It's very interesting. Your body and your cells are always eavesdropping on what your mind is saying to it. And when you really think about it, would you talk to your best friend, or would you talk to a family member the way you often talk to yourself? I'm gonna think no, you would never be that cruel. But for some reason, you have no problem beating yourself up. I know I do this, and it is a tough habit to break. But it's just important, because your body will respond to either positive talk or negative talk. And I just always find it so interesting, because as we're kids and we're growing up, we're always taught to be nice to other people. But I honestly cannot remember one time as a child when somebody said to me, hey, Cher, be nice to yourself. Well, my mom might have, because she was a pretty smart woman, and she loved me a lot. So she probably actually did tell me that. But a lot of us never hear those words. Be nice to yourself. Okay. And then the final one is, you know what? No matter how amazing your life is going, life has its ups and downs. That's the beauty of life, right? We can't always be living on the highs. There's always going to be lows. Really, the challenge is how long you want to stay in those lows. And, sometimes there's a good reason that you're low. Sometimes you are experiencing, grief or sadness. And you know what? Awesome. Welcome them to the table. Experience the emotion, but don't dwell on it. So those are my tips for living a more optimistic lifestyle. And trust me, as you do, those menopause issues that you're having will start to become less frequent and less severe. And to that, my friends, I say cheers.